Hollywood features are months, if not years, in the making. In November 1990, Disney Studios was into the early production of a movie timed to open next week, their big holiday release. Now, who knows 12 months ahead of time how a film is going to turn out? Well, Disney agreed to let us follow the work in progress. The film is the animated feature Beauty and the Beast, and in the coming days, you'll be hearing a lot about this. Early word of mouth is that Disney has a hit, which means that when Bob Brown dropped by 12 months ago, he did the right thing.
A larger than usual portion of the stakes for the Walt Disney Studios in these closing months of the year is riding on what begins with the cost of a pencil. It is the studio's annual full-length animation, a $15 million retelling of the romantic fable Beauty and the Beast.
Some of the latest stuff we've been doing feels like it's coming together a little bit better.
We began to watch the project a year ago when Disney executives agreed to let us observe the decision-making process that goes into their most treasured products. Meanwhile, in the year that followed, the Disney company suffered its first earnings decline since 1984, with poor box office performance by a string of studio releases. And that has focused even more hopes for a bona fide hit on these characters in the sketches we saw all around us last December. One of the executives closest to the project is studio chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg.
No matter how big the empire gets, with the parks and the various movie companies and the merchandising and all of that, if you really deal with what's at the core that drives the whole engine, it's the animated movies.
It's something very different that you haven't seen before.
So what did you guys do about the time span?
December 16th, 1990. What directors are showing today is a version of the script for the film with the actors' voices and songs already recorded, but with almost no animation. This is how it works.
Please, Gaston, I can't. I have to get home to help my father.
It runs just like a movie. The sketches illustrating the general design of the scenes have been spliced together to cover the dialogue. Some scenes have been animated as pencil drawings. The story is based on one of the world's best-known romantic fables. A selfish prince is transformed by a curse into a beast who will be doomed to live in his monstrous form unless he can win and return the love of another, the beauty named Belle, who becomes his captive in the castle. To embellish the story for comic relief, Disney writers and artists have invented a cast of castle servants who were also transformed by the curse on the beast. This one into a candlestick, this one into a clock, this one into a tea kettle.
So I'm just going to go through in order of things here, and
Katzenberg is a hands-on executive who stays involved in studio projects.
My problem is the Beast character, although you've taken...
And whose emphasis is on story concepts. In this case, how to make the audience respond with sympathy to a monster.
Emotionally, his eyes, his gesture, his sight, his shyness.
Looking for solutions means analyzing the dramatic design of the scenes. One example, when Belle first sees the Beast in the halls of his castle.
Come into the light.
Notice that the drawing of the Beast is still vague. His exact look hasn't been settled on yet.
It's about in his eyes, seeing loneliness in there, seeing, sadness in it. And because of that, you almost get me to tears at the end. Not quite. We're still truly, I mean this, only 50% home with him.
Monday, December 17th. Without Katzenberg and with an additional dash of irreverence, the animators and directors on the film are meeting to go over the notes from the Katzenberg screening.
Jeffrey. His biggest note, I suppose, overall...
Hearing the comments for the first time is Glenn Keane, who was the chief animator for Ariel, the Little Mermaid, and has now been assigned the central character in this film, the Beast.
Beast arc, he felt, in his words, were like 50% there, and
Keane and the others are discussing how to fix that split-second scene in which the Beast is first seen by Belle.
If you had it staged where you get light on this side, dark there, that he goes into the darkness.
It's a little vague in the story sketches right now.
You don't quite know what it is, but you just see the light reflecting in their eyes, and you just see this...
almost indefinable silhouette with just like eyes or something.
You can tell they're thinking. Something's going on in there. And as he starts to come out, you just reveal a little bit of him. In order to get into Beast, I have to start crawling into who he is, what is the struggles that he's going through in his own life.